Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Monday, May 13th, 2024. I am Drew Martin, breaking down a pretty large slate of games here on Monday. So, guys, let me know in the comments where you agree, where you disagree, what your MLB picks are for today. And smash that like button if you're liking the content. So we got first game up here, all night games, 6:35 Eastern, as we head to Camden Yards for the Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. It's Corbin Burnes and Jose Berrios. Good pitching matchup here with the O's commanding a minus 160 price tag as the home favorite, total of 8. It's first place, last place in the AL East, but kind of sounds a little bit worse than it is. The Blue Jays just 4 games under 500 in last place. Now Baltimore 26-13 on the season, and they got Burnes on the hill. This guy's been great, 2.8 ERA. His last time out, he did have 3 earned runs and 3 walks, something to watch there against the Nationals. Jose Berrios, actually for the season for the Jays, has been really good. Before his last time out, he didn't give up more than 2 earned runs in any of his first 7 starts, but he did give up 8 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, don't want to downgrade him too much because that Phillies offense is really, really good, but I found I think an advantage angle here with the Toronto Blue Jays, and that is against power pitchers. Their OPS is like 200 points lower than against like finesse pitchers. So the pitchers that really come after the hitters, throw hard, fastball, slider, this lineup has struggled hitting, and they're getting one here against Burnes. So I think they're going to have a tough time putting up some offense here. Plus the fact in the later innings, the O's have a huge bullpen advantage. This is one I went back and forth on just because it is a little bit pricey with the O's. But for that little angle there in terms of what type of pitcher they're facing a tough one here in Burnes. So let's go with the low water mark right now, minus 158 on the Orioles at home to beat the Blue Jays. Next game up here, guys, is we will head to Citi Field in New York. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets, 7:10 Eastern. Christopher Sanchez versus Sean Manaea, the pitching matchup. So 2 southpaws going at it. Minus 120, that's the Phillies as the road favorite. 7 in the hook being the total. We get the Phillies first place in the division, actually first place in all of Major League Baseball. They have the best record right now, 28-13. They've also been road warriors, 13-6 on the highway. Christopher Sanchez, 1 earned run in 4 of his last 5 starts, so he's riding a hot hand. And he's up against Sean Manaea. I mean, the Mets overall, they're coming off of Sunday Night Baseball. I don't really look at it as Sunday Night Baseball fade. That's kind of like a topic in the handicapping industry, fade the team playing on Sunday Night Baseball. But they're staying home, and they're off of that big win. That's not really an angle I would look to play here. They're 1 game under 500. But they're 2 games under 500 at home. I'm going after this more because this Phillies offense, if you've been watching the show, the Phillies, the Nationals, those are 2 teams, they've kind of been our golden goose here. So I'm not jumping off of this Phillies train just yet. I did lose on them just yesterday against the Marlins, but we've had success on the show. And Manaea, the lefty going for the Mets, his strikeout to walk ratio is just 31-19. I mean, that's almost not sustainable. You're not missing that many bats and you're walking a bunch of guys. Now you're going up against this Phillies lineup. He just had 1 strikeout last time out. I don't like this matchup at all for Manaea. I think he's going to get knocked around here, guys. And the Phillies bullpen has been pitching a lot better of late. So just laying 20 cents here in the overnights, Phillies are going to be the play in Citi Field. Let's go with Philadelphia Phillies listing Christopher Sanchez as the starter. We'll go from New York to Boston for our next game up, 7:10 Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays, Boston Red Sox. AL East matchup here with Zach Eflin going for the Rays, Cutter Crawford for the Sox. Minus 115, that's Boston as the home favorite, total of 8. Tampa Bay Rays, just 1 game under 500. They're just 6-9 on the road, though. They've been playing better baseball in the Trop. They just had a weekend series there, now traveling up to Boston. And 6-9 on the road, it tells me 2 things. 1, they're struggling on the road. And 2, they haven't played very many road games. So we'll see how they fare here. Eflin on the hill, he does have under a 4 ERA, 39-4 strikeout to walk, telling me, That's telling us he's right around the plate. He's not walking very many people, but he has been hit around in his last 3 starts, 21 hits in the last 3. So I think going up against this Red Sox lineup in Fenway, he might have trouble. And Boston, they're staying at home. They just had a weekend series, now playing here Monday night. They've won 2 straight. They're now 2 games over 500. And they got Cutter Crawford on the hill. Boston is one of the more surprising teams in Major League Baseball, playing over 500 as we pass the 40-game mark. And a big reason why is they're starting pitching. Going into last week, they had the lowest team ERA in all of baseball. And Crawford's been a big reason why. 1.7 ERA, 2.8 FIP on the year. He's got 8 starts, 46 to 15 strikeout to walk ratio. I like this kid on the hill. Gonna back Boston here. List Crawford as the starter, and a slight bullpen advantage for the Red Sox. Their pen arms have been throwing good over the last month. So let's go with the Boston Red Sox. Short home favorites, minus 115 price tag here in the overnights over the Tampa Bay Rays. Next game up, 7:20 Eastern. Chicago Cubs and Atlanta Braves. Big fan bases here. Going to be a tough ticket in Cobb County. We get Ronaldo Lopez going for the Bravos and Imanaga, the lefty, going for the Cubs. Total of 8, minus 135. That's the Braves as the home favorite. First off, the Chicago Cubs, 24-17 on the season. So, 7 games over 500 right now. Their lineup's been hitting a lot better. And Imanaga on the hill, 43 to 5 strikeout to walk ratio, just like a 1 ERA, just over a 1 ERA. And only 5 earned runs for the whole season in 7 starts. 4 of his starts, he blanked his opponent. So this guy's been really good, like dark horse Cy Young candidate for Imanaga. Now he's going up against the tough Braves lineup, but they haven't been hitting the ball all that well. In May, they're actually a bottom 6 lineup by weighted runs created plus. So for whatever reason, this isn't the same lineup as in the start of the year. Now they're coming back home, so I wouldn't run with that too much because the Braves have been good at home, 13-4 when playing at home. They are off of the Sunday night baseball loss, late in the game. That was a tough one with travel, so maybe that is an angle here. I don't love going against the Braves, but in this situation, I think we get the pitching advantage and a Cubs team playing pretty good baseball. Let's go plus 130. That's the Cubs high water mark here as the underdog in Atlanta. We're on the Cubs. A few games left here, guys, as we will head to Chicago on the south side, actually, with the Chicago White Sox hosting the Washington Nationals. 7:40 Eastern. Trevor Williams going for the Nats. Chris Flexen for the White Sox. 8.5 being the total, minus $1.25. That's the Nationals as the road favorite. Nationals talking about surprising teams this season. Maybe none more surprising than the Nationals. 19-20 on the year, so just 1 game under 500. But they're 10 units positive this season, meaning if you've been betting every Washington Nationals game this year, you're up 10 units. $100 better is up $1,000. They're the only team in Major League Baseball plus double-digit units on the season. If you've been watching the show, I think Trevor Williams, his last 3 starts, we've been on him. So he's making the list here again, guys. Trevor Williams, the 6'3", 240-pounder out of Arizona State, former second-round pick with under a 2 ERA. He's 4-0 on the season, no more than 1 earned run in his last 4 starts. And that includes Trevor Williams' last 2 starts were against the Orioles and the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. He blanked both of them. So he's riding a hot hand right now. Now he's kind of stepping down in class against the White Sox. I think we get a good start from him. He's up against Chris Flexen. Nothing against the former Korean baseball starter, but he does have a 4.3 ERA. He has pitched a little bit better, but it's not going to get us off of the Nationals. That's not enough. White Sox down 10 units on the season, just 12-29 for the year. It's the Nationals as the road favorite, minus 25 cents here, minus 125 on the Nats. 2 games left here, guys. Do you want to give the recap? I know a lot of you guys in the comments below like to hear the recap. We got Friday's show. We did go 5-3 plus 2 units. None of the favorites lost. So plus 2 units there on the recap for Friday. And for the week, it was a monster week, man. 21-14 plus 7.3 units. So $100 better up $730 with all the plays from last week's show. So hopefully carry that into this week and keep the profits coming. If you're liking the content, please smash the like button, and please feel free to comment below where you agree, where you disagree, and your MLB picks for today's action. All right, West Coast games up next here, guys. 9:40 Eastern. Kansas City Royals, Seattle Mariners. It's Brady Singer going for the Royals, and Kirby going for the Mariners. -145. That's the M's as the home favorite. Low total of 7. Whenever it's a real low total like that, 7 with a fairly decent favorite, my initial look is always towards the dog, and that's how we're betting this one. We can get the Royals +132. Royals, they're 8 games over 500, 25-17, and they're up just under 50 run differential. That's the second best in the American League. So they're scoring a lot more runs than their opponent. They've won each of the last 2 Brady Singer starts, whereas the Mariners have lost each of the last 2 George Kirby starts. So something to watch there. Seattle 22-19 on the season, a decent year overall. But Kirby did give up 3 home runs his last time out, and his velocity was down a tick. So something to watch there, because when your velocity goes down, that could lead to, injuries, just a kind of a fade situation overall. He has over a 4 ERA now, and he's up against Singer, just 1 earned run in each of his last 3 starts. I like this Royals team. I think we get the better lineup, and we get the better starting pitcher, at least better starting pitcher in current form. So we're going to back Brady Singer, the 6'5", 215-pounder, first rounder out of Florida, and the Royals on the road in Seattle. Last game up, guys. We'll finish it off here, 9:45 Eastern, 6:45 local time, with the LA Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. It's Yamamoto going for the Dodgers. Jordan Hicks going for the Giants, 7.5 being the total, -190. That's the Dodgers as the road favorite. Dodgers 27-15 on the season, 8-2 their last 10. Best run differential in all of baseball. Giants 4 games under 500 for the season. And they got Hicks on the hill, who he used to be a reliever. Now he's a starter. And whenever that happens, I like to see how these guys progress, after 6, 7, 8 starts. He did have 6 walks in each of his last 2 starts, actually combined in the last 2, but still, that's a lot of walks, 16 walks year to date. And now he's going up against a really good Dodgers lineup, pretty much any way you slice it. Overall, versus righties, this is the top lineup in baseball by the metrics. And Yamamoto, their starter, 2.8 ERA, 47-8 strikeout to walk ratio, just 2 earned runs in his last 3 starts combined. We get a bullpen edge with the Dodgers. Now, laying -190 isn't really our tune, but we will lay the run line here, -1.5. It's -105 at a lot of shops. Looks like low water mark, +100. So risk 100 to win 100. That's the Dodgers, -1.5. They're going to have to win by more than 1 run, but we don't have to pay too much of a vig there to jump on the Dodgers run line as the road team. That's the time I always say to bet the run line, because you're going to get the same amount of outs either way you slice it. Guys, I am Drew Martin. That's going to do it for the show. Check out Premium Picks, wagertalk.com. Got a 4% big bet going up. They've been great, so check that out. And a special, you can get all the premium plays through the All-Star break for huge savings. Drew Martin, experts page, wagertalk.com. Smash that like button, comment below, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back for Tuesday's show. Until then, cash those tickets.